Our next speaker will be Ash Anderson. Ash Anderson is a fifth-generation Utahn who was raised in a proud Union family in southern Salt Lake County. He is a co-founder of the National Climate Justice Organization, Peaceful Uprising, and currently serves as its co-director. Last year, Peaceful Uprising initiated a campaign to force Rio Tinto, Kennecott, to stop burning dirty coal in the Salt Lake Valley. By using direct action and making bold demands, they inspired an alliance of different organizations to form, which was ultimately successful in forcing the multinational mining conglomerate Rio Tinto to stop burning coal in 3 of its 4 burners, which in one flick of the switch reduced the pollution in Salt Lake County, the same as taking 1 out of every 10 cars off the road. Ash is also the Friday host of Radioactive on KRCL and is a student at the University of Utah.
Well, thanks for that long introduction, and I think pretty much everybody here helped with everything we just spoke of, and I just want to thank you very much because I know a lot of people here, and it's great to see you. Be standing with you out here. A lot of times people feel discouraged if there aren't 5,000 people at a rally, but I'm not. I've seen it too many times where the right people are there, and the right people get the message, and the right connections are made, and that's how the world has changed. Yeah. So give yourselves a hand for being out here. Heidi and Vaughn pretty much covered everything I was going to say, but I do have a few things I could squeeze in there. But you guys were great. You summed it all up, and I'm so glad I don't have to try and bumble through that now, so I appreciate that. People are starting to get it, I think. I think that we're starting to see backlash from wanton greed and wanton corruption is starting to kind of hit the wall. And I've been asked to talk about the connection between the environmental movement, or climate movement, and labor. And I get asked this a lot, so I can talk about it, but the problem is that I'm not really an environmentalist. And the climate movement's not very much an environmental movement. And as was spoken of earlier, we do need to unite, but what we're looking at is capitalism has reached the point where in physical reality it cannot sustain itself on planet Earth anymore without killing off everything that's alive. Therefore, we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it right now. And we have to fight back! We do have to fight back. But first we got to get real. We need to realize that that's also real, whatever he's got over there.
It will stop the lobbyists.
Okay, sir. Okay, so.
But it will stop them.
It's freedom of speech, baby. There it goes. Yes. Okay. I think one of the main problems we've got is that, as was talked about earlier, that economic disparity is at an all-time high. And when that happens, people start realizing what's up. We're starting to see that now, thank goodness, because we've been for the last 30 years slipping and slipping and slipping and slipping, and it's been agonizing to watch. To anyone who has a conscience, to anyone who's paying attention and whose eyes are open, the last 20 or 30 years have been gut-wrenching. As unions are giving away more and more of they're making more and more concessions at every meeting. It's backwards sliding, and everyone knows it. It's been hard, and we've embraced this capitalism. We've tried to work within it. We've been trying to work within it all the way up until all the people who understand what's going on were rooting for Barack Obama just with this hope that maybe some of the promises he were making could put a dent or at least slow down this giant train that's coming our way. This giant train isn't made of people. The big train that's trying to run us over right now. It's made of a really bad idea. And who here has very conservative, highly capitalistic people in their family? We all do. Who loves them and would put down their life for them if they were about to get hit by a car in the road? Of course you would. We love each other. We're tied to some of them, this guy says. We're tied to each other. We care about each other. We're decent people. Most people are decent people. But there are a few bad eggs out there, and they've hypnotized a whole lot of people into subscribing to their bad ideas. And we can beat that. We can beat that by uniting, but I think it's going to take three things. One, I wrote it down. I wrote something down. I scribbled it in any case.
The Constitution.
Well,
That'll do it.
the Constitution, when it was formed, was certainly no perfect document, and it's still not. But first thing we need to acknowledge is what we were talking about, is our sense of decency. That everybody's got it inside them. Almost everybody has it inside them, and in order to nurture that, we need to recognize it in everyone else first of all, and recognize our common humanity. We don't need to look at everyone who doesn't believe in the exact same things as us as our enemy. I don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you need to look at a police officer, or FBI agent, or whoever that guy was wandering around out there. Maybe you need to look at them as the enemy, as someone you need to take away the monopoly of violence from. But I think you need to recognize the goodness that is latent in every single human being and start from there, because you draw that light to you and you draw them to the truth. And the truth is, we all want a good life for ourselves and our families, and that to unite against that and overthrow that, we need to do the second thing, and that's to recognize that we have the numeric majority. We've got it. When it comes down to it, it's just us not using that's letting all this happen. We have everything we need except for one other thing, and that's that we need to deeply embrace our calling to be living at this time on this planet. And instead of saying to yourself, I'm going to now become an activist, you don't need to become an activist. You just need to start asserting your humanity. You need to extend that love you have for the people you care about with you one tiny more step, and start caring about everyone that's around the earth. The children that are dying because of this capitalistic machine, they're dying because of a bad idea, they're dying because of greed, they're being born into a world where they're stepping on landmines and they're getting their eardrums blown out so they can never hear music. That's the kind of world that is being created by climate change, that's being created by these bad ideas, that's being created by people like the Koch brothers, who've talked the Wisconsin government into taking away labor rights and collective bargaining rights. And it's the same people, the Koch brothers, the same elite, that have taken away the rights to address climate change by introducing absolutely asinine ideas into the public debate, and by suppressing science and doing whatever they can to protect their source of income, which is taking carbon out of the ground and putting it into the ground. This is all connected. So when we finally get that third thing, that resolution inside us, then we can actually start to make a difference out there. I was at a Koch brother rally down in Palm Springs a little while ago. So we went and knocked on the front door and bothered them, and a bunch of people got arrested. But I was in a meeting with some other media people, and it was representatives from some of the biggest media outlets, and they were brainstorming, how do we fight the Koch brothers? And how do we get? And they were talking about, how do we get more progressives? How do we get more Democrats? And that's how they were framing it. And I said, this isn't, as long as you're fighting about how to move people from one side to another, you're ignoring that little bit of people that have all the money. And that's the real situation we're in. If we don't go like this and realize that this is the situation we're in, and let all the people that are left and right just kind of be suspended like you turn a snow globe upside down, people's hearts will speak for themselves, and they will drift to the left. They will drift towards justice. They will drift towards common human decency, but not as long as we're fighting each other and we're not fighting them. So, I'm happy to be here with you and realize that our other speakers have made it clear, but when we're fighting climate change, when we're fighting for our rights, when we're joining the long history of people that have done that before, when we go about it this time, yeah, there may be bloodshed. We're not unrealistic. But I think that we could start off by listening to our hearts and seeing that in other people, and that maybe we can just change it. Thank you. Thank you for asking me to be here.
This Saturday, there will be a march from Veterans for Peace in Utah has called for an anti-war demonstration in Salt Lake City on Saturday, March 19th. Gather at 12 noon at the northwest corner of Washington Square, 400 South and State, in conjunction with National Stop These Wars on the 8th anniversary. We will also rally at the state capitol right here at 1 p.m. to join the action initiated by the Revolutionary Students Unions of UVU and U of U. Aaron Davis of Veterans for Peace will be speaking. And if anybody wants to help organize for May Day, come and see and sign up. We are going to organize for May Day. Thank you all.